Budgeting is challenging, especially when it comes to your business, yet it's one of the most important things you can do when it comes to your cash flow. Today, I'm going to walk you through the simplest budget template you've ever seen using the software EveryDollar. What's going on, everybody? Craig here, and I'm a profit coach who loves helping service-based business owners finally find some peace of mind when it comes to their money. When it comes to business, budgeting is a pain. It's overwhelming sometimes. A lot of times we're dealing so much with the growth of our business, trying to put our money in the right places that maybe we just don't even know where to begin when it comes to organizing or watching our money. Well, today I'm going to do a deep dive into budgeting, and by the end of this video, not only will you understand the best practices for budgeting, but we're going to make it so simple that you can immediately take action and know exactly how to budget for your small business. All right, with your business budget, there's a system that I recommend. You've probably heard me talk about it. It's called Profit First. When we profit first your business, what we're doing is we're taking your income and your revenue and we're breaking it into these smaller buckets. These buckets offer clarity, and they make it to where your money has a purpose before it ever comes in. The first bucket is your income account. So these are all actual physical bank accounts. It goes into your income account. This is just a holding bucket, essentially. It's a place, an account that holds your revenue, your sales. Then you divide that money across your other accounts into the other buckets. Profit is one of them, owner's pay, taxes, and then finally, operating expenses. Once we have clarity in that, then we can take that general idea, that cash flow management, and we can start being proactive with it. We're deciding what our money is going to do before it ever hits our bank account. So by planning in advance, once the money does come in, we know the game plan and we can execute it. Reactive thinking is when something comes up, an opportunity or a marketing or whatever it is, and we look at our account and we say, can I afford it? And then we make the decision then and there. We don't plan ahead for it. We don't think in advance. It is just do I have the money? I do. I'm going to step forward with it. So how do we budget for your small business? I recommend doing a monthly budget. What this looks like is, again, we're being proactive. We're saying, here's what I expect to earn in revenue this month, and here's what I expect my expenses to be this month. And we're going to run that budget on those numbers. If more comes in, we can talk about what to do with that money, where it can go. And if you're profit firsting, it's really going to be filling up those bank accounts. If less comes in, then we can start putting out those fires and deciding how are we going to address this before the month actually starts. So we start with the income at the top, we list our expenses, and then we decide where are we going to funnel the excess. I'm going to walk you practically through it. I promised you a template, and what I'm going to walk you through is a system called EveryDollar. Now, EveryDollar is a free budgeting software out there that is really designed for personal finances. However, I utilize it for business finance and specifically profit first budgeting. So what I'm going to walk you through is exactly how to do that. All right, so let's dig into my computer and I'm going to open up a completely blank budget. All right. The first thing I want to do here, you'll see I have my income category and then a debt category. Now, my business doesn't have debt. If you do, you want to put it in here and we want to list the individual expenses that you might have coming in. We're going to add some groups. So I already outlined that one of the groups we're going to be looking for is profit. I'm going to nickname this one owner's pay. We're going to have one for taxes, operating expenses. Now you can add other groups in here if you want to have one specifically for payroll or for online expenses, memberships, et cetera, you can. But what I like about this is if you look over here on the right, you can see our core categories over here. You can see these 4 core categories, the bank accounts, the buckets that I outlined at the top of the video. Okay, now we can come up here to the income account. This is where you can write down any services you might have. So whatever your business is, how much do you expect to earn from clients? I'm going to put 10,000. Let's just do online courses. So you can see in this business, they're going to earn 20,000. They're expecting to earn 20,000 in the month of May. Now we're going to come through and this is where you can compare it to your profit first percentages. Where are you currently in your profit first? If you don't know your current percentages, then in the description below, I'm going to put a link to a quiz that's going to tell you exactly what you should be using, what you should be spending in your business, depending on your industry, depending on the size, your revenue. It's a 8-question quiz. You take it pretty quickly, and you're going to be sent a custom report that'll tell you exactly what should go here. But let's say you're going to do 10% in profit. I'm going to actually nickname this profit category 10%. That way I can always see exactly what I want it to be. Owner's pay, maybe I want that to be 35%. And then taxes, I want those to be 15%. And then operating expenses, we're going to make that one. Let's do my quick math here. Click. 40%. So there we go. We have 40% for operating expenses. Okay. So now you can see over here on the right, my titles with their percentages next to them. So I'm actually going to put profit as a line item. I'm planning on earning $20,000 this month. What do I plan on putting in there? Well, if I'm going to do 10%, then I'm going to do $2,000. Owner's pay. I can break it apart on my paychecks. So how often do I want to pay myself? Maybe it's twice a month. 35% of 20,000. So that's going to be about 3,500. Now, hopefully you're on a regular pay schedule. So this doesn't have to be right at that 35% mark because there's going to be ebbs and flows in your business. So if you're anticipating maybe a $30,000 month, but your paychecks are sitting at $3,500 per check, you don't need to necessarily increase it for that month because we need to build some cushion in those bank accounts. Let's look at taxes. We're at 15%. So I'm going to put 3,000, I believe. Yep. And so you can see these percentages are all lining up right over here on the side. Up here at the top of an EveryDollar budget, you'll see that we have 8,000 left to budget. This is the section where we're actually going to be itemizing things out. And so maybe you have an administrative assistant, okay, and maybe their pay is $3,000 per month, okay, and then we have CRM software. I'm not going to list everything you could possibly have, but let's just call that $99 a month. Now, once again, you could see where you could break this apart. So I've done this into the profit first buckets, but you could create a bucket for, instead of just an overarching operating expenses, maybe you have one for marketing and advertising. Maybe you have one for payroll and employees, and then you have another one for office expenses, overhead. So you could really see percentage-wise, even more granular, how you're doing in that operating expense world. If this is so simple, it's blowing your mind right now, this is the kind of stuff that I create all the time on this channel. So be sure to subscribe. Now, you can see here that my operating expenses are a little bit under what is recommended in the profit first world. I've got 40%, 33% is here. That's okay. What you can do on here is you can write cushion. I recommend doing that for owner's pay as well. These are the two that are variable. This is also if you are in debt, this is a place where you can take some of that excess right up here and you can start funneling that toward debt. And the beauty of it is EveryDollar is on your phone too. So all you have to do is open up your phone and you can see in a clear, quick snapshot, okay, how am I doing with my budget? All right, guys, let me know what you think. Is this budget simpler than what you've been doing? How could you take this and tweak it to your specific industry? Because every business is different. And do not hesitate to take that free quiz. I'm telling you, it's going to show you exactly how much you should be spending in every category within your business. Now, I do have another video all about cash flow. So once you have this budget planned, what do you do with the money as it's coming in and out? Well, I've created an idiot's guide to cash flow, and I'm going to put it right up here for you. Check that video out next. In the budget, I can pull it up. I can track that expense or throw my phone on the desk.